Bula, everyone, and welcome to Bula Bytes. All right, today we're going to be diving into the future of the web. We'll look at what's coming next, and more importantly, how you can start building it like right now. So, have you ever landed on a website and just thought, wow, this feels cool? What is it that gives it that vibe? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. What makes a site feel fresh, modern, and just exciting? These are the trends shaping the web as we speak. See, it's way more than just picking some nice colors and fonts. It's really about blending the looks, the feel, and the smarts to create an experience that's just amazing for the user. And here's the best part. We're going to connect all of these cool futuristic trends right back to the basic HTML you're learning in your Year 13 ICT class. Seriously, this is where what you're learning today meets the future. Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves and jump into all the cool future stuff, let's just quickly touch on the foundation. Because really, everything we're about to talk about starts with these simple but super powerful building blocks of the web. You know it, you've been learning it, HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language. The easiest way to think about it, it's the skeleton of a website. It's the bones. It gives everything its shape and structure. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at the Fiji National University website or your favorite shop online, every single one of them starts with these basic tags. And this right here, this is the magic. On the left, you've got your simple, structured code. You recognize those tags, right? The H1 for a heading, the P for a paragraph. And then on the right, that's what the browser turns it into, a clean, simple web page for everyone to see. Code on the left, result on the right. Simple as that. All right, so we've got our foundation solid. Now let's add the style. This is the fun part. We're going to look at the visual trends that are deciding how websites look and feel, not just today, but for the next few years. So, one of the biggest trends out there right now is something called the bento grid. Think of a Japanese bento box for lunch. Everything has its own neat little compartment, right? It's the same idea for a website. It's a super clean, organized way to show a bunch of different types of information without it feeling messy or overwhelming. Just imagine a news site like FBC using this. Instead of a long, cluttered page you have to scroll through forever, you could have a grid like this. Top story right here, weather over here, maybe some sports news and a video clip down below. Everything you need all at a glance. So much easier to scan, right? Okay, so organizing content is one thing, but what about making a site just look slick and modern? Well, there's another huge trend that's all about adding a touch of elegance, something that makes a design feel really high-tech and premium. It's called glassmorphism, and this quote really nails it. It adds a futuristic polish. You're using these transparent, see-through layers with a bit of blur, kind of like looking through frosted glass. It just makes everything feel so light and airy, and it creates this amazing sense of depth on the page. Okay, so we've got the bones with HTML, and we've got the style with these new trends. But what about the feeling of a website? Let's talk about that now. We're moving from how a site looks to how it actually feels to use. This is where things get really interactive. You know, the best websites these days, they don't just dump a bunch of information on you. No, they tell a story. They take you on a journey as you scroll down the page, revealing new things and keeping you engaged with every flick of your finger. This whole idea is called scroll storytelling. Just picture this. You're on a website for a resort out in the Mamanucas. As you start to scroll, a huge title appears. You scroll a bit more, and a beautiful image of the beach fades in. Keep going, and some text describing the activities pops up. By the end, a Book Now button appears. See? It's like the website is telling you the story of a perfect day. And it's these little things, these designs that feel alive, that make all the difference. We're not talking about big, flashy animations that get in your way. No, we're talking about subtle things, elements that react when your mouse hovers over them, or tiny movements that guide your eye. The goal is to make the website feel responsive, almost human, and enhance that connection with the user, not distract them. Okay, but a website can look and feel amazing, but if it's slow or dumb, none of that matters. So for our final section, let's talk about the brains of the operation. It's all about how future websites will think, how they'll be both incredibly smart and super, super fast. 3 seconds. That's it. If your website takes more than 3 seconds to load, poof, your visitor is gone. They've clicked away. In today's world, speed isn't just a nice thing to have, it is absolutely mandatory. Your site has to be fast. And it's not just about raw speed. Websites are also getting a whole lot smarter in how they communicate with you. You know those old clunky chatbots that are just so frustrating to use?
Well, they are getting a massive upgrade.
Yeah, we're moving away from those robotic chatbots and towards something more like a friendly chat bud. Imagine a little helper on the site that's actually helpful. It talks to you in a casual, human like way, it understands what you're actually asking, and it can solve your problem right there, instead of just sending you to some boring FAQ page. It's like having a helpful co pilot.
So let's pull all of this together. We've talked about looks, feel, and brains. What does all this mean for you right now as you're learning to code? What's the big takeaway?
Really, it all boils down to one single word: balance. The best websites in 2026, they're going to be fast, but also emotionally engaging. They'll be smart and helpful, but also inclusive for everyone. It's all about creating something that's balanced, human, and just feels alive. Look, every single trend we've talked about today, the bento grids, the glass morphism, the scroll storytelling, they're just tools. New tools for your toolbox. You're already learning the foundation with HTML. So now the only real question is, what story are you going to tell? What will you build?